Before 2019, Ibrahim Arief was at the very top of Indonesia's private tech sector. As a VP of engineering, he helped scale Bukalapak from a tiny team of 20 engineers into a massive tech unicorn. His success attracted global attention. By late 2019, Facebook recruited him, offering a highly lucrative global tech salary to move his entire family to London. Right as he was preparing to leave, he received a very different kind of invitation. Then Minister of Education, Nadiem Makarim, asked Ibrahim to stay and help build technology for Indonesia's public sector. Ibrahim looked at the e-commerce empire he helped build and realized it only served the wealthiest segment of the population. Driven by a desire to reach the 95% of Indonesians untouched by the digital economy, he rejected Facebook. He took a 50% pay cut to work as an external technical consultant for a private foundation supporting the ministry. But that single decision has cost him everything. Today, Ibrahim is fighting a 22.5-year prison sentence and a 16.9 billion rupiah fine over a government Chromebook procurement scandal. The prosecution argues that this outside advisor somehow forced a multi-million-dollar government purchase. The Indonesian government routinely asks its diaspora to return and modernize the country. Yet the legal system is currently using one of its top engineers as a legal scapegoat. To understand the allegations, we have to look at Ibrahim's actual role. He was an external technical consultant hired by a private foundation. He held no bureaucratic rank and had zero authority to approve or execute government spending. Despite this, the prosecution claims Ibrahim intentionally manipulated the technical requirements to lock the ministry into buying Chromebooks. Court testimony proved otherwise. Ibrahim provided specifications for both Windows and Chromebook devices. He explicitly urged the ministry to test both options against their existing school software before making a decision, a warning the ministry ignored. To build their case, prosecutors lean heavily on a formal review document they claim Ibrahim authored to push the Chromebook agenda. The physical evidence tells a different story. While every internal official signed off on that document, Ibrahim's signature line is completely empty. He didn't sign it because he didn't even know the document existed until years later. The prosecution's narrative also falls apart when looking at basic chronology. Ibrahim officially resigned from his consulting role at the foundation in June 2020. The actual government procurement phase, including the budget allocation and vendor selection, occurred after he left. Prosecutors are trying to pin a systemic procurement failure on an external advisor who didn't sign the paperwork and wasn't even employed during the purchase. A corruption case requires a financial motive. Prosecutors pointed to a 16.9 billion rupiah spike in Ibrahim's personal wealth in 2021, labeling it illicit corruption money. This chart shows how early tech employees are compensated through an employee stock ownership plan, or ESOP. Over his years as an executive at Bukalapak, Ibrahim earned shares that gradually vested, meaning they legally became his property. In 2021, Bukalapak went public. Ibrahim legally cashed out his vested shares. That financial spike was simply a tech executive converting his private stock options into public cash. It had nothing to do with the Ministry of Education. The prosecutors completely misread this standard tech industry contract. They assumed his shares vanished the moment he left his previous company, rejecting his legal tax documentation entirely. The pressure on Ibrahim went beyond financial misunderstandings. Before he was ever named a suspect, he was heavily pressured to make statements implicating higher-ups. When he refused to lie, he was dragged into the prosecution's crosshairs. Meanwhile, internal government officials have confessed under oath to receiving billions of rupiah directly from vendors. Yet those insiders remain completely free, classified only as witnesses. The justice system has weaponized a citizen's heavily documented private sector earnings while shielding the insiders who openly confess to taking bribes. Drained by mounting legal and medical bills, Ibrahim found himself facing 4,500 pages of case files and over 200 witness testimonies, with no money to hire a massive legal defense team. So he did what an engineer does. He coded a custom AI system from scratch to read, process, and cross-reference every single page of the trial documents for him. That AI successfully uncovered the hidden chronological errors and conflicting witness testimonies that now form the core of his defense. His situation highlights the danger of the third-party trap. External innovators are brought in to fix broken public systems, but they lack the bureaucratic armor to survive when the politics turn hostile. This case sends a loud warning to the Indonesian diaspora and the private tech sector. Answering the call to serve your nation carries intense existential risks. Despite losing his wealth and facing 2 decades behind bars, Ibrahim stated he would still choose Indonesia over Facebook. He made that choice because the tech he helped build genuinely improved the lives of marginalized students and teachers. If a flawed system punishes selfless devotion with decades in prison, how can it ever expect the best minds to help modernize the country?